you like paranormal, true crime, and some cryptids, or just anything weird, check out Ouch, Was That a Ghost? Brought to you by your host, Liss. You can find Ouch, Was That a Ghost on Spotify, Apple, or any audio platform. New episodes drop every Thursday.
Lights, camera, rolling, action.
Good morning, Vietnam!
I love the smell of napalm in the morning.
He's looking at you, kid.
Say hello to my little friend!
Hi, this is Joe, and this is the Filmjoe podcast, where film talk happens.
1, 2, 3, 4!
Hi, I'm Joe, your host, and I'm here with Daisy.
Hello.
And we have a very special guest this week. We have Liss from that really cool, creepy podcast, Ouch, Was That a Ghost?
Woo.
Hello.
All right, welcome to the show again. This is your second time with us, right?
It is. I'm a pro now. Thanks for having me again.
All right, great to have you. Great to have you. All right, so this week, this is going to be good. I mean, we've been prepping for this, and let's just say there's been some bad blood out there. I'm not going to say from who or from where or from what, but yeah, it's going to be, I guess this is one of those controversial episodes, so it's going to be good.
It's going to hit the fan.
Yes.
Very controversial.
Yes. So this week we're covering, revisiting actually, a couple of films that pretty much were recalled or remembered as really bad films. And so the question is, were they really that bad? That's the question du jour. But before we ask such a burning question, just a little reminder, we're not professional film critics here. Far from. We just love to talk film and discuss, and that's all we do here. And also be advised that we may have some spoilers, some major spoilers, or maybe no spoilers, but there's definitely, I think there's going to be spoilers in this. So in case you haven't seen any of these films, you've been warned.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
That's right. Okay. All right. So Liz, tell us about your podcast. It's called Ouch, Was That a Ghost?
It is. I cover true crime, paranormal, cryptid, anything weird, spooky. That's all the stuff I enjoy.
Nice. My kind of people.
I mean, it's case for those of you who haven't heard, it's really cool podcast. It's a lot of fun. She does it mostly with her brother Mike, who was supposed to be on tonight but couldn't make it, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
Someone's in trouble.
Oh my goodness. And but yeah, no, it's a nice mix of humor and supernatural. I mean, you mix in all kinds of good stuff with cryptids, true crime, mysterious crime. If it's strange, if it's unusual, I mean, you're covering it basically.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a good stuff. So people check it out. Ouch, Was That a Ghost? It's on where is it? Where can we catch it?
I don't know. It's on Spotify, Apple, Spreaker, all the big ones. I don't even know. I'm sorry.
If it's on the internet, just look it up. This is
Wait, do you know every platform yours is on?
Yeah. It's on iHeartRadio, Deezer, Boomplay, Audible, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, and on Spotify.
Damn,
you know all those.
Yeah, because it's written down here on my screen.
Oh.
Jesus.
All right. So this is cool. I mean, I'm recording. I'm out here in sunny Southern California, and Liz and Daisy are both on the East Coast. So I'm all by myself out here on my own little island.
Dude, you must have, I saw that you guys have some like really awesome weather right now. It's so humid over here.
It's raining by me.
Yeah. We had a little thunderstorm earlier today.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's funky.
Yeah, now I don't feel so bad. Oh man, but yeah, it's a trip. I mean, you were telling me, Daisy, that it was like 80 something at night.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. I mean, I kind of compare it to like Puerto Rico weather, you know, very humid. We're surrounded by a lot of rivers and lakes out here. And yeah, you know,
Well, what did Donald Trump say? It's an island. It's surrounded by water.
what an idiot. Pendejo.
Oh gosh. And yeah, right, yeah. So let's get on. Oh, by the way, before we move on, let's just note that Donald Sutherland, the great actor, the legend, has passed away. A great actor. I was a huge fan of so many of his films. Great actor.
Yeah, it's such a shame. I mean, you know, what's awesome is that, you know, he left behind a legacy.
Yeah, with of great films. I mean, classics like MASH. He was in Clute. He was in a movie called Eye of the Needle. You know,
Ooh,
even
Hunger
Magic
Games.
He
Hunger
was
Games.
President Snow.
Yes.
That's right.
He
That's right.
killed it with that. I loved it.
Yeah, I always loved his performances because he can play a good guy and he can play somebody really. You just didn't know where this guy stood, you know. I mean, he was really, really awesome. I mean, one of my favorites that I remember as a kid scared the shit out of me was a film he did in 1978 called Invasion of the Body Snatchers, which was a remake of the 1950s film that starred Kevin McCarthy.
He was
Great.
awesome in that.
Yeah, amazing actor. So will be missed, you know. And but like you said, he left behind a body of work that will stay with us forever. So
Exactly. He's been immortalized. That's awesome.
yeah. All right, Liz, are you ready for this?
I am ready.
All right. So now, have you ever watched or rewatched a bad movie after decades and go, you know, it really wasn't that bad? Or you just might say, damn, this is still shit. Well, that's what we're here to find out. So let's do this. So first of all, let's jump into our first film. This first film, well, it's swashbuckling pirates and rum. So here we go.
We set sail for Cutthroat Island!
More gold, jewels, and plunder than you've ever dreamed of.
I'm gonna split you open. I really think that from now on we should be partners. 50-50.
60-40.
I find myself being fired upon by an entire ship!
Give me that man. Give me a kiss first.
Come to seek my treasure, have you?
Let's finish this.
A female pirate and her companion race against their rivals to find a hidden island that contains a fabulous treasure. The film we're talking about is Cutthroat Island from 1995, and it's directed by Rennie Harlin, director of films like Die Hard 2, Cliffhanger, The Exorcist, The Beginning, and it stars Gina Davis, Matthew Modine, and Frank Langella. So the Filmjoe scale for this one is going to be on a scale of 1 to 10, skull and crossbones.
Skull and crossbones. All right.
Why did I think you were going to say like pirate booty or something?
You know what? I like pirate booty. Can we go with pirate booty?
I just think I don't know why.
I love me some pirate booty.
Okay. Do we have a mutiny going on here?
Arr. Don't
Okay.
be plundering me booty.
Okay, we'll go. Okay, we'll go with pirate booty. All right.
Yeah.
Now, do you guys know why it's called booty? Don't get weird, Daisy.
Okay, I'm trying to
I
refrain.
feel like it's because they stored a lot of things in their boots, like their treasures, but I'm not actually sure.
I thought you
Yeah.
were going to say something else. Boots is good.
Well,
She's still on Howard the Duck's butt. That's all she's thinking about.
Oh, that fluffy booty. Oh my God, he's so cute.
well, no, you're right, Liz. They would use their boots as extra carrying stuff for the jewels or whatever. Yeah, so that's where that comes from. Definitely.
Interesting.
Yeah. So okay, so let's go with our special guest. What were your takes on this film, Liz?
This was such garbage. It was so hard to watch. The pacing was all over the place. It was like so slow, and then it would like throw down all these plot points and then go super slow again. Like I wanted to love it because I love corny movies and I love Gina Davis so much.
Mm-hmm.
She's like usually perfection, you know?
Right.
But it felt like such a worse Pirates of the Caribbean. I did love the sets. I'm not gonna lie about that. There was no CGI. It was just all really nice sets. That's pretty much all I can say good about it. Even like the head, the map that they carried around was so corny, and everything was like you had to find this specific and this specific. It's like a national treasure. Like you have to go through 20 points perfectly to know where this was.
Right,
I'm
right.
sorry. I'm like rambling, but I could not stand this movie. It was so hard to watch. I kept nodding off. I had to have like a few coffees to get through it. And I don't
Holy
think I
crap.
forgive you for having me watch it yet.
Damn.
Wow. Okay, so let me get this straight. You didn't like the movie.
I did not. This was my first time seeing it and last.
Wow. Okay. Daisy, what were your takes on this?
Well, I'm gonna tell you, I didn't quite like it, but I didn't quite hate it either. I don't like pirate movies. I'm not a big fan of pirate movies. I didn't jump on that, Pirates of the Caribbean train when, it first came out. So for me, this was like, it was okay. Like Liz says, the visuals were great. I'll give it that. And while I love Gina Davis, I think she's awesome. One movie that I really love with her was A Long Kiss Goodnight with Samuel L. Jackson. She was a freaking badass. I loved it. Here, it kind of felt like she was trying too hard to be a badass pirate instead of just kind of, letting it come naturally. So there's that, and then Matthew Modine. I mean, the only reason he got that job is because the dude was good with the sword.
Yeah, that's true. He was the only one formerly trained in fencing or something.
Fencing, exactly. And so, and on top of that, he kind of gave me Carrie Elwes vibes, and I felt that Carrie Elwes would have been a whole lot better. I mean, dude, he was the Dread Pirate Roberts. I thought he would have done really great in this role. But other than that, I felt like it was missing something, like it needed more spice. It was lacking.
I totally agree. I mean, like Liz said, it had great production value. The sets, the ships were fantastic. No CGI. Predominantly, it was practical. It was beautiful. It was a beautiful looking film. I mean, to me, this film did wrong everything that the Pirates of the Caribbean did correctly, and it had almost the same budget as Pirates of the Caribbean.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, we'll get into those numbers in a bit and then its eventual losses. But it felt like, well, first of all, Rennie Harlin is, we mentioned earlier, he directed films he also did The Long Kiss Goodnight, actually.
He did?
Yeah. And he did Die Hard 2, Cliffhanger. And these are high-octane action films. And they did really well. But who was in control of, say, Die Hard 2? It wasn't Rennie Harlin. It was Bruce Willis. He was the guy who called the shots. And then you got Cliffhanger, that's Stallone, another heavy hitter who's not going to take shit from a director, and he's going to do it his way. Well, in this film, Rennie Harlin was calling all the shots. And again, he's one of those directors that he's either hit or he's missed. Again, look at Die Hard 2, Cliffhanger, but then you look at The Exorcist, the beginning. That was fucking horrible. Where you have like a ping-ponging exorcist possessed person, and it was horrible. It was really, really bad. So he has a tendency to go way over the top. And I don't know if you guys know, but, he was married to Gina Davis at the time.
Yeah. I want to say that they got engaged just a little bit before production of this movie went in.
Yeah, and he was obsessed with making this a big, big film for her, that she even begged them at one point, you know what? Because they ran into a shit ton of production problems, and which we'll go in a bit, but she's like, why don't we just cut it, and he's like, no, this was his Moby Dick to his Captain Ahab at one point. So, but yeah, it was bad. I mean, what did you say, Liss, that we DM'd and you said that it was like an AI script?
That's what it felt like. It just made no sense. There was no flow to anything, and I don't know. I didn't enjoy it at all.
Yeah,
the explosions were cool though. They did have quite a few of those.
Well, Rennie Harlin's good at that shit. I mean, he's almost like a Michael Bay kind of director.
I was just saying, I hated their chemistry too. I was waiting for something to happen so I could feel like, I want them to get together. You know what I mean?
There was no chemistry. I
awkward.
agree. Yes. Yeah, that kiss was just meh. Ugh.
Well,
Yeah.
like first of all, I mean, there was a lot of problems on the production. I mean, Rennie Harlan, he fired the chief camera operator early on into production. When that cost like 24 crew members to leave the set. They're like, "Fuck you, we quit." So they left, and that caused delays. I mean, they had all kinds of production issues. I mean, even initially when they wanted a lead character, check this out. This is who they wanted. Okay, this is a list of people they wanted. They wanted Tom Cruise.
Oh shit.
Daniel Day-Lewis, Keanu Reeves, Liam Neeson, Jeff Bridges, Ralph Fiennes, Charlie Sheen, Russell Crowe, Tim Robbins, Gabriel Byrne, Michael Keaton. They must have been desperate at that point. And
Hey.
I know, look, Michael Keaton, he the man. I love Michael Keaton, but I don't know about this.
As a
And
pirate, oh no.
No, I don't know if you could have pulled this off, but I do love him as an actor. I would love to have seen Keanu Reeves in that. When you listed that, I was like,
Ooh, I mean, that one's tough.
Yeah,
It is, but he really embodies like different characters. I don't know. I like him a lot.
Yeah, no, he definitely has a screen presence, but and I think unfortunately, I mean, these are big names, and for one reason or another, a lot of them just declined the role. And I think what it is that
They read the script.
well, you know what? On paper, it's good. If you think about it, just break it down in your head, just the basic what the film is about. And it's not a bad film per se. It's piss poor execution, and I think that's what killed the film. And also, here's another factor: is that, I mean, let me just preface this with, I love a good female action-driven film. I do, but the market just isn't geared that way. A lot of action films that are female driven don't do well, and that's unfortunate. I mean, you do have your Terminator 2s, your Aliens, stuff like that, even the Hunger Games, which was kind of lame towards the end, but you do have those. But I mean, you also have other films, like there was Peppermint. I don't know if any of you saw that with Jennifer Garner. You know what? It's an action film. Violent. It wasn't bad.
Better than I expected.
Yeah. And then you got Gina Carano. She did a film. She did a couple films, actually. She did one called Haywire, another one called In the Blood, which, you know what? They were your standard action fare kind of films. Long Kiss Goodnight. Unfortunately, the way I see it, and again, I'm not again. I love a female-driven action film because I think women can be equally strong and have such a screen presence as men. But look, the audience is what it is. We can't blame the studios for not investing time and efforts into a female-driven film. It's not their fault. It's business. They don't want to lose money. So they don't want to take that risk. And they didn't want to take a risk with this film. Because, look, the average woman does not like violent films. I'm not saying all women. I'm saying general. Men, they identify with a Chuck Norris. They identify with a Clint Eastwood. It's a gender thing at that point. We identify, and a lot of men don't want to, or just can't. And it's not a thing of misogynism or whatever. It's just, it is what it is. And unfortunately, these films suffer from that. It's the demographic that they're trying to hit. So I think that's one factor. Okay, it's a small factor that affected this film, because this film was shit.
Yeah, because I mean, me personally, I mean, I love a film with a strong female lead. I want to see that girl kick some ass. It's just, I don't know. I think it also has to do with casting too. I mean,
yeah,
I don't think this was right for her. I mean, like I said, she was awesome in The Long Kiss Goodnight, but I wasn't feeling it as her as a pirate. Maybe, somebody like, I don't know, Angelina Jolie, I think she would have been badass in a role like this.
I think so. And have you guys seen Furiosa?
I haven't seen that yet.
Damn good movie. Really good. And it's a female character, female driven. And again, when you look at a movie like this and you go, oh, it's a female driven, if you say that, there's your red flag. But if you look at a movie like Furiosa or Wonder Woman or Terminator 2 or Alien, and you look at these films, you go, damn, that's a damn kick-ass movie. That's when you're on the right track, because
it's not thrown in your face. It's not being shoved down your throat as, girl power. Because I hate that fucking term.
Me too.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Just give us a great character, male, female, alien, whatever, from Melmac.
Female. Melmac.
Okay, that was good. I swear to God, I thought Alf was on the other side there. um, yeah, but yeah, so I think that's one of the issues that initially, and that's why, yeah, people like Tom Cruise and Keanu Reeves, so forth, turned this film down because maybe they just don't want to, have be second banana to a woman, and yeah, that is chauvinism, that is, whatever.
Well, that's
But
what happened with Michael Douglas.
yeah, Michael,
He wanted, he had agreed to do this film, but he wanted the same amount of screen time as Gina Davis, but because she had more screen time at his character's expense, he was like, no, he was like, peace, I'm out.
Oh, what a little bitch. I never
Yeah.
heard that.
well, that was because Rennie Harlan was, because that was his woman, his wife, and he wanted to push her into the forefront, and it kind of blew, kind of exploded in his face, unfortunately.
You can't do that. There has to be a balance.
Yeah. So now again, I appreciate I appreciate that they were trying to do that. It had all the money, it had the look to it, but so let's get into the numbers. This is very interesting. The budget at the time was about $98 million.
And what year was this again?
This was 95. So in today's dollars, that's about $196 million today. Yeah. And if you compare that to Pirates of the Caribbean, also adjusted, Pirates of the Caribbean was $238 million.
Damn.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But you know why that it was a little higher? That's because you have Orlando Bloom, Keira Knightley, Johnny Depp. So they drove the price up because of their star power. So if we kind of work it out mathematically, they're pretty much on par as far as the production budget. And it's a shame because, as we've mentioned, great sets, great costumes, great effects. I mean, look, let's be honest. That battle, when the two ships are going up against each other at the end, was epic. It was so much fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you just don't like pirate movies. Shut up.
They're romanticizing murderers and rapists.
Oh, man, why you got to get real like that?
It's the truth.
But it was really well done, and it was a lot of fun. I mean, a lot of the action pieces were really, really well done. And but an action piece well done makes not a good film, unfortunately.
Mhm.
Box office at the time of release. Okay, here's the sticker shock right here. It made only about $16 million, which is about $32. It didn't lose that much. No, in today's dollars, it's about 32 million. So it took a massive loss. Some reports have stated if you add in marketing and distribution, it's well over $120 million that it lost.
That's sad.
Yeah.
Michael Douglas was at home laughing.
He goes, "Ooh, I dodged that bullet, huh?"
Jesus.
Wow. Yeah. And I feel kind of bad for Matthew Modine because you got all these great stars with the chins and the chests and the looks and the hair, and you got Matthew Modine, who's a damn good actor in his own right. I mean,
He was, but he was like a little puppy.
Yeah.
A little puppy.
Yeah.
I wanted somebody strapping, I wanted somebody to grab Miss Gina Davis and just ravish her, somebody like that, I want to live vicariously through her.
Yeah, someone that has like a mysterious, sexy look about him, like Johnny Depp, or someone, you know what I mean? Like someone that like looks the part. I didn't think he just seemed too nice. He seems like someone that would work at like Radio Shack or something. Like he didn't seem like a pirate to me.
He's a nerd.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, you can't really. I mean, because there's the part where he's the thief at the beginning of the film, where he's like at this ball and he's swooning the women out of their. I didn't buy it. I didn't buy it. I mean, I loved him as Sergeant Joker in Full Metal Jacket. I thought he was great there.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to pat him on his head, like, oh, good boy, good boy.
All right, so let's go into reviews and scores on this. Roger Ebert of the Chicago Sun-Times. Okay, Roger Ebert, rest in peace, legendary film critic. I grew up watching his shows, but sometimes I don't know what the fuck he was smoking. He gave this film 3 out of 4 stars.
Wow, really?
Yeah. Yeah, he said this, in short, is a satisfactory movie. It doesn't transcend its genre. It's not surprising or astonishing. What the fuck you give it 3 stars for?
Yes.
Jesus.
It's average, but let me give it above average rating.
Right. Yeah, man. Well, he has his opinions and they're wrong. IMDb sitting at a 5.7. Metacritic has this at 37. Rotten Tomatoes, critic score 40%, audience score 40%, and Letterboxd 2.7 stars out of 5. So it's not really a well-loved movie.
Damn.
No, except for Liz. I know she loves this one still. I mean, so
Hey, I do like the fact that it possibly had part in inspiring Jack Sparrow
you
in
know
the
what?
Pirates of the Caribbean. That's the only good thing I see out of this.
Yeah, somebody saw this movie and said, "Hey, you know what? I could do a way better job at this shit."
Yes.
They did.
He did.
Let's
Yeah,
try
because
that again.
Yeah, pretty much. Take two.
well, you know what? I mean, it definitely, I could see that being the case because, again, there's a lot of similarities in the look and even the cinematography. There was elements that you go, wow. And you know what? Films like this, they get me all frustrated. I love film. I love even the bad films. I just want to hold them. I love my bad films too. And this is one of those bad films you just get frustrated. You just want to smack on the head. Come on, you can do better. Don't be bad. But it's frustrating because you can see the film that it could have been, and that's where it just kind of gets annoying. So let's see, sequels and remakes, spin-offs, none. Well, if you count Pirates of the Caribbean, maybe you can count that as a remake. It's like, okay, clown, step aside, hold my beer. This is how it's done.
Basically.
We walk so you could run.
There you go.
All right. So let's go with our ratings. Daisy, you go first.
Okay, so like I said, I really didn't care for it. I didn't dislike it. I didn't like it. I'm kind of in the middle. It could have been so much better, so much potential. There was definitely something lacking from this movie. So I'm gonna give it. I'm gonna give it 5 pirate booties.
5 pirate booties. Okay, cool. I'm still thinking skull and crossbones. You threw me off there. All right, so 5 pirate booties. Okay. Okay, Liz, what do you think?
The pacing drove me insane during it. It was just so slow and then so fast. But like I said, the sets were fantastic. And if they had part of Johnny Depp coming about, so that's only 2 stars. That's all they get from me.
Two pirate booties.
2 pirate booties. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm just so mad at the movie. I can't even think straight.
Wow.
I can't get those hours back.
Okay. So, guys, on the Mac and Me metric, is it better or is it worse than Mac and Me?
I think it's worse.
Whoa.
The fall scene on Mac and Me is funnier than this whole movie put together.
Yeah. That's a tough argument. Yeah. Daisy.
I'm not gonna go that far. As much as I appreciate that scene where he falls off the cliff, that shit's hilarious. But I'm gonna have to go. Mac and Me was way worse.
Okay. All right. And was it really as bad as people said overall?
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Well, for me, on the Mac and Me metric, I'm gonna have to say it was better than Mac and Me. Ooh, yeah, unpopular opinion. Okay.
No, I agree. Liz is like, nope.
I'd have to say it was better than Mac and Me. It had better production value and so forth. And was it really that bad? Yeah, I'd have to say it really was bad. Because I don't know if I mentioned, but I did get to see this opening weekend when it came out. And I actually enjoyed it, but maybe because I had a few drinks beforehand. I don't know.
You're a nerd.
Yeah. Maybe because you know what? Sometimes I walk into a film and I want to like it, and I'll give it excuses. I mean, I actually saw Star Wars Episode 1 when it first came, and I came out.
I was about to say that too.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh, I liked it, and you're bullshitting yourself with what you're doing. You're bullshitting yourself into liking the movie because everybody else, well, the hype and all this shit. So
it was a lot of hype.
Yeah. So with this one, yeah, definitely, it really was as bad as as it was. As to say it was. So, alrighty. Yeah. Maybe next time, huh? All right. Yeah. So now we move on to our next film. So, psychotic or just imaginary?
Honey, why'd you call him Drop Dead Fred?
Because that's his name, Daddy.
Like many small children, Lizzie had an imaginary playmate.
Drop Dead Fred is going to teach me how to cook today.
Someone she could talk to.
Sugar?
Yeah.
Someone she could share with.
Oh, Grandma Bun!
Someone who would never let her down.
No more Drop Dead Fred. Period.
Now Lizzie is all grown up.
To us.
And when her perfect life fell apart,
Charles, I lost my money, my car, my husband.
she didn't get mad.
Drop Dead Fred.
She got Fred.
A young woman finds her already unstable life rocked by the presence of a rambunctious imaginary friend from childhood. The film we are talking about is Drop Dead Fred from 1991, and it's directed by 8 De Jong. And it stars Phoebe Cates, Rick Mayall, and Marsha Mason. Okay. Oh, gosh. Okay. What you know what? I don't want to go first. I don't.
Oh.
Joe's scared for his life.
Okay, we'll go with Daisy first.
Oh,
Okay,
wow. Okay. He throw me under the bus. Okay. Well, I saw this movie when I was really young, and often when you watch a movie when you're really young, things seem different. I thought it was hilarious as shit. I love the little gags. The way he's would call her Snotface. I love that shit. Or when he gets shit on his on his shoes and smears it all over the rug. Duck poo, duck poo. As a kid, that shit had me fucking giggling like crazy. I mean, I even got the cobweb sting when I was a kid. I was like, "Ooh, damn!" But as I was trying to remember, what this movie, was really about, because I know that there was a deeper meaning to it. I'm like, okay, well, basically a little girl who has an imaginary friend. This imaginary friend plays with her, gets her in trouble. But overall, he supports her, he has her back, and so, defends her against her tyrant of a mother. But, all that is taken away from this little girl at a very young age by the mom, and, takes away Drop Dead Fred, locks him up in a box, and the dad leaves because he doesn't like the way the little girl's being treated. And now all of a sudden this little girl has to grow up really fast and leave her childhood behind and be a model child like the mom wants. And, now we find her as an adult, and, her marriage is failing. And, it's a result of her not being able to enjoy her childhood. And now she has to, kind of find it again with the help of Drop Dead Fred. Now,
okay, what's the name of this film? Because I really want to see this one.
Exactly. So that's what I had remembered. But then I'm watching this, I'm like, and I know what they're going for, but this guy is just fucking this kid up. I mean, this, I'm a parent, so if I see my kid, putting dog shit all over my rug, or making mud pies, or sneaking out in the middle of the night pretending to be a robber, I'm gonna be just a little bit concerned for my kid. Let's be real. That kid would have ended in the loony bin.
Yeah.
Now it's even worse, because now she's an adult, and Drop Dead Fred is there to help her regain her childhood. He's jacking her up. He's making her look like a fucking a crazy person. I mean, and I didn't find it as amusing as I did when I was a kid.
Yeah.
There was one part that I did find funny as hell that had me laughing. It was just one part in the very beginning where the little girl's asleep in her bed and a hand comes out and smacks her upside the head.
Oh, yeah. I thought that was kind of cute.
Okay, that shit was funny as hell. After that, I'm like, oh my God, poor kid. Yeah, so,
Oh, God, yeah. So, Liss, your takes. Okay, now give us a good argument for this one.
Sorry. No, I saw this still when I was young too. That made no sense. I hope you're editing. I
No,
saw this.
that stays. That stays.
Thanks. Thank you so much. I saw this when I was a child and I loved it. I thought it was the funniest thing ever. But the cool thing with this movie is I haven't seen it since then. So when I saw it as a child, it was just like, oh, this guy's obnoxious, funny. Like I just saw the funny parts. But now as an adult watching again, I'm seeing all like the mental health trauma, all that they brought into it. So it's a cool movie that kids can see it one way and adults from a completely different perspective.
Okay.
You know what? Whatever. There was one creepy part, though, watching it back when I was an adult, was when he went to go say goodbye to her and he kissed her on the lips. I don't know why. I was like, what is going on?
Yeah,
But that glass
Yeah.
scene in the restaurant when he's like whipping the water around, I will never not crack up at that. I love the whole movie. It was so fun. It's like such a fun, chaotic, but you get stressed out on how annoying he is. But it's like fun annoying. I don't know. I love the movie. You can't say anything that would make me not love it.
Well, yeah, because Drop Dead Fred, he's meant for a child, for for an imaginary friend for a child. So when when he's not with an adult, it's like, oh shit, dude, you need to relax.
Well, okay. What oh good. Okay. Elizabeth, played by Phoebe Cates, which was the best part of the movie, okay? For me, I love Phoebe Cates, okay? And she's just so sweet to look at, and she has such a purity about her and a genuine nature in her presence. But she comes across as a codependent, insecure, pathetic person from the get-go. And instead of a woman, that's what you get. You don't get that she's a woman with serious mental issues. I mean, the woman is mental. Again, the setup with Charles, her husband, played by Tim Matheson, a complete dick. But they beat you over the head with it. It's like, look what a dick he is. She drives around in a piece of shit little Honda while he works at a fancy place that makes they sell fancy sports cars. He cheats on her, yada yada. It's a little too much on the nose for me. Maybe it's because they were trying to aim for children. Yeah, because children need those issues introduced into their lives when they're young, right? And the problem I had with Drop Dead Fred is that he had no redeeming qualities. Work with me here.
He offered her an Oreo.
He was an asshole. He was not funny. He was not.
What? He was not funny.
He defended her.
Wow. And how does he help her out? By getting her in trouble, by making her look mental.
She had no parents. Her even when there was a burglar in the house, they didn't even check to see if their kid was alive. They were like, oh my gosh, are they in here? Like they weren't even concerned about their daughter. The mother and the father could care less what was happening with her. And that's the same as an adult. Nobody saw her except for him.
Okay, I'll give you that. She had shit parents, okay?
And there was that moment that he's up in the tree and he's like, you could be anything you want. Mm-hmm. Don't ever, he's like, telling her, don't let her put you down like that.
Yeah, but you know what? The moments like that of him reaffirming her I don't know, her self-worth or whatever, they're too far in between. Look, you have to have a character arc. Her character arc sucked ass. It did. You have two diametrically opposed characters, right? And the whole gist is, I mean, obviously the guy, Drop Dead Fred, is pretty fucked in the head. She's fucked in the head, but in different ways. She's trying to hold on to reality and trying to lead a responsible, productive life. He's like, let's throw dog shit, on the wall or whatever he does, right? And so you have these diametrically opposed characters. Within this character arc, they're supposed to bring each other in. They're supposed to kind of rein each other in and say, hey, you know what? They see the errors in the way and they grow. There's no character growth from him nor from her. Hence, you don't have a really good character arc. So what does she end up at the end? We'll get to the end because that fucking ending just had me nuts. Okay. Oh gosh. Just first of all, Fred, he was not real. He was all a figment of her imagination.
He was not, because the other little girl by name mentioned him at the end.
I knew you were going to say that.
And the other kids in that counseling place, they all saw their own
imaginary friend.
Thank you.
I was trying to think of the names of them, but I couldn't.
Yeah, brain fart.
Okay. I'm gonna break that down. One, what was the boyfriend's name? I forgot his name. Anyway,
Mikey.
Mikey. So
I love
Mikey,
him so much. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
and he's a damn good actor. I don't know what the fuck he was doing in this one, but he's a good actor. He grew up with Elizabeth, correct?
Yes.
Was he or was he not aware of her friend Drop Dead Fred?
He was.
Okay. What's to say that he didn't mention it to his daughter?
Why would
So
you? Though?
well, because they're all fucking nuts in this movie. That's why.
Why would you say, "Hey, sweetheart, my friend, she had an imaginary friend and did some really jacked up shit to my grandmother." Why
Is that
would
so
you?
far fetched?
No,
I mean, he was throwing spaghetti in a fancy restaurant because he thought it was fun.
no, she broke him.
No,
She
I don't
broke
buy it.
him.
Well, I
Now,
think the
when
whole thing is to have her show that she doesn't need approval. She's not afraid of anybody, especially with that awesome labyrinth line reiterated when she's like, "You have no power over me."
You know what? I knew that sounded familiar. Love that
Okay. So now you say the other kids saw, right? They were seeing their own imaginary friends. They didn't see Drop Dead Fred. They saw their own. And not to mention, they were also fucked in the head, these kids.
Yes,
They were also
but
they also had mental issues. And
Okay.
again,
So how did she break out of that glass window, climb out without cutting herself whatsoever at her size?
haven't you ever seen those dual personality psychotic thrillers, where it's like one person you think they're two, and then you go to the playback, it's like, oh shit, he broke the window. He wasn't the bad guy. He is. Come on. It's all
man,
perceived reality.
I'm not
Now,
buying it.
and so, but she has serious emotional issues, and this stems from her mother, the overly obsessive and controlling mother, and that basically was the foundation. And I'm not a clinical therapist here, far from. I barely know how to tie my own shoes sometimes, but these issues do. They mess with her self-esteem and her self-worth, and just kind of spirals out. And that's why she became the person that she did. And she brought back Fred because, well, she went, she feeling these issues that she felt as a kid again. Her parents didn't pay attention, or her mother specifically. So
I get that. I do get that. But like I said, for me, that's just disproved by the kids also seeing their own imaginary friend playing
they,
with
they
another
did.
one. They did.
They did not see Fred.
No, they didn't see Fred. They saw their own, but it kind of, like Phoebe Cates' character. She was like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "I'm playing with my friends." So us seeing it through the eyes of the other kids solidifies that, yeah, they're there.
These kids they had issues.
Of course they did. They're talking to somebody we can't see, but
that would be a joint hallucination between the whole place. That seems really far-fetched.
Oh my god! Now we're justifying. Okay, so now we're justifying it with mass hallucination, right? No. Oh god, these kids were nuts, and it sucks because here's the thing, and this is my personal opinion. Now, Daisy, I am far from being a social justice warrior.
Right.
I don't give a shit about certain things. I don't give a shit about offending people sometimes.
Yeah.
And I'll say certain things that are politically incorrect. But in this case, I think it's a huge disservice to the real issues of mental health. I mean, I felt so bad for her at one point because she had real problems, and nobody around her saw that she had problems. She had issues. She was crying out for help. She's sitting there in the restaurant with the glass, flicking it around, or stuff like that. She was acting out
She
for
beat
attention.
the shit out of the violinist.
Oh my god, dude! I felt bad for that.
Sunk Princess Leia's boat, and they're just like, whatever.
Right? Okay.
Oh, dude, I love the scene where she's beating the shit out of the chair. Is he right there? She's trying to choke him out.
Oh my god,
that scene was funny as hell.
Okay, again, maybe because I'm watching it through like realistic eyes, or like okay, Carrie Fisher. She's a successful businesswoman, an independent woman, a strong woman, right? She's achieved something in life, and she lives in a steamboat house. How fucking cool is that, right? That could not have been something out of like, oh, you know what? I think I'll buy a boat. No, it was obviously a dream because for her, it's something so specific, right?
Mhm.
And this crazy woman sinks her home. And it's like, oh well. And then she's like, I'm going to beat up your imaginary friend.
Dude, she lost her shit, man. Wouldn't you?
Well, you know what? Probably. You know what? That's probably true. She
She lost her shit.
She was crazy, right?
Shut up,
Her
man.
haircut in that. What was that?
I don't know. She was trying to get away from the Princess Leia thing, I think. I don't know.
Tired of donuts.
That was
Probably.
bad.
Yeah. So I mean, I found that I felt really bad for her friend. I mean, like she sunk her dreams. And then come on, that's not realistic at the end where she's like, yep, I didn't know how much that thing was worth. And she's waving around the insurance check. You know, an insurance check or anything cannot replace your dreams. And that's where I felt bad for her. I'm like, this is so not based in reality at all, which is trying to anchor itself at certain points. It gets pretentious, I think, where it tries to anchor itself in a certain, perceived reality of issues and so forth. But then it just lets loose and gets retarded again. That was politically incorrect. And
did you see when she had the check too? Phoebe Cates just like put it in her mouth. Like if I had like a multi-million-dollar check, I'd be pissed if my friend just like shoved it in their mouth.
She put it in her mouth?
Yeah, she put the corner of it in her mouth for some reason. I didn't remember that part until now, and I'm like, why is she doing that?
Oh my God, no. I mean, okay, now let's get to the end here. Okay, so finally Elizabeth is able to let go of Fred because she no longer needs him, and play the file, let's play those violins, okay, whatever, right? So her boyfriend Mikey, he has a daughter, right?
Yes.
Okay. And at the end, she's like, "Oh, I'm just playing with my friend." And you know the scene how it runs out and what's his name? Oh, Drop Dead Fred. Don't you think Elizabeth would be like, "Oh, fuck, this kid is messed up too."
No, I'd just be like, damn, I got to deal with this shit again.
Oh, yeah,
Not
exactly.
From like a mom's point of view.
And instead it's like, oh, yuck, yuck, yuck. Oh, she has a friend too. Oh, tell Fred I love him. Come on, that kid is screwed when she grows up.
The only thing that surprised me was that I thought that Mikey would be a good dad. So obviously she has some kind of issues at home if she has Drop Dead Fred now. Like I get that the mother isn't around anymore, but I don't know. I just thought he'd be a better dad, so she wouldn't hate him.
Exactly. It's reflected on him too, because I mean the guy was throwing spaghetti around in a fancy restaurant earlier.
He didn't want her to feel like she's, a weird person. So he's like, look, I'm doing it too. He was being nice.
I thought that was sweet. I love that.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm going to put away my checkbook because I'm not buying it. No, thank you.
Oh God.
And okay, now one thing, there's a couple points here and this was validated, at least for me, later on while doing research. I'm watching this, right? And I'm like, yeah, what can save this film? What can save this film? Acid, an explosive device. Okay. So and I thought, you know what? Robin Williams would have been good in this.
He was considered.
Yes, exactly. And you can see what they were going for. Now, this gentleman who played Drop Dead Fred, Rick Mayall, apparently he was a very successful and very popular comedian back in England. And God rest his soul, he passed away in 2014 or 13, around there.
Which about the same year as Robin Williams.
Yeah. How ironic.
Yeah.
And but I kept thinking Robin Williams, he would have been good. I mean, it would have been improved with Robin Williams and a better screenplay. You know what? Because like Daisy, you kind of nailed it in the beginning, the basic premise, and it is a damn good story.
It got kind of convoluted there. I mean, he's trying to, he's there to help her, but yeah, he's kind of screwing her over by making her look like a crazy person.
Yeah, he was not helping.
He wasn't helping.
I mean, because if you look at films, okay, it deals with a serious issue. I think they skirted the issues, unlike, say, like a film like Mrs. Doubtfire, which met head on with those issues that children deal with, and I thought dealt with it beautifully, which we did cover in on the pod a few episodes ago. And I think they could have done the same here. This could have been a very special film. And was it funny? Well, if you're 5 years old, it's fucking hilarious. Yeah, poop humor, not
No,
funny.
dog poo.
How is that not funny?
Dog poo, dog poo.
Okay, you guys have kids, both of you, right? What if your kid walks in one day, or he comes in and they start spreading dog poo all over your living room? Would that be cute?
No.
They'd be cleaning it up. What would I care? I'd rub their faces in it, or they'd be cleaning it.
My child be suffering from hot ass.
Oh, God. Now, another thing that crossed my mind when I saw this was that it was definitely, I felt when I'm watching it, trust me, it was a struggle. I swear to God, it took every ounce of cinematic discipline within my soul not to turn this one off. Okay, it really did. I tried. It's Cutthroat Island, fucking masterpiece, I'm thinking, right?
What?
Really?
I had the exact opposite experience. I was peeing my pants at the restaurant scene when he's sitting there whipping the water back and forth.
Oh my God.
I was dying.
Oh. My eyeball muscles still hurt from them rolling so far back into my head. But it really, I think it was trying to capitalize a lot on the Beetlejuice, which came out a few years before, the whole Beetlejuice phenomena. And I did feel it was a wannabe Beetlejuice.
Well, you do know that the script was offered to Tim Burton, but he declined.
Yeah, because he said I did that fucking movie already. And who was considered for the cast? Alec Baldwin.
Oh, Winona Ryder.
Winona Ryder, yep. Gina Davis. So yeah, they're like, we want to do something that's inspired by but different than Beetlejuice. Well, let's get the director and the entire cast. Yeah.
It would have had a totally different flavor.
Yeah, it definitely would. But I mean, again, with most films, I do appreciate what they were trying to accomplish here, and kudos for them. They got this film made, and is the world a better place because of it? Probably not. But we still. I'm glad they. It's good to see these films get made, and a lot of people work very hard on this film. But oh God, I worked hard just watching it.
Joe.
I'm still yes.
Joe.
Yes. I
love this movie. I'm sorry. I love it. I love everything about it.
Well, good for you. I'm glad. I really am, because that's what films are. I mean, they may not hit everybody, and it'll escape some people. Some people just don't get it, but they're meant for for somebody out there. And this one was meant for like 2% of the population. So hey,
oh my God,
so funny, aren't you?
Jeez, oh, he's brutal. You heard what he did to Labyrinth, right?
Labyrinth was horrible.
What? How? The trash lady? Like, what is bad about Labyrinth?
The trash lady?
Everything is awesome. Hoggle at the beginning, the worm. Like, how do you not love every aspect of that?
Ludo and him walking across the bog.
Of a turtle stench? Yes.
Oh my God, I love that part.
Oh God.
Ludo scared. Love this fucking movie.
Oh my gosh, it's so good.
Okay, look. I liked Labyrinth a little better than this one. Okay, so
wow,
so it was better than this.
It was the package. It was David Bowie's package that put you over the edge. So I will accept that.
Oh man, my God. It was so. I mean, and then you kept. That was a whole other podcast. That fucking nightmare is behind me. Oh Lord!
When I rewatched it as an adult, I was like, "Whoa! I do not remember that."
Yeah, you enjoy it a whole lot more.
Oh my God!
It made me more uncomfortable than anything. I was
really?
Was that there?
I couldn't stop looking at it.
Okay.
I'm dead.
Thank God I have my Captain Morgan rum with me right now. Oh Lord, yeah.
Man, it's hot in here.
Oh Lord, Yeah, so let's get into the budget and box office on this one. The budget at the time, it was pretty low. It was about 7 million, which is about $16 million today, because they had no talent on the film. Yeah,
Joe.
yes, yes, no talent. Box
Yeah.
office at the time was 24 million, which is about 55 million. So it more than doubled its budget. Again, this film has its cult following, and that's pretty cool. I mean, I think that's neat when films establish that they don't fall within the parameters of these are great films and they'll last forever. This was not one of them, but you know what? It's developed a cult following and keeps it alive, which I think is pretty cool.
Definitely.
I'm trying to be nice.
It's too late.
Reviews. So let's go with the reviews and scores. Gene Siskel, Roger Ebert's partner in crime, he gave this film 0 stars.
What?
God bless you, Gene Siskel. He
Damn.
What?
he said that this is easily one of the worst films that he had ever seen. Oh, I couldn't agree with this man more. I mean,
You
he's
gotta
my
show
hero.
him Cutthroat Island.
Hey, Roger Ebert liked it.
That's one half.
Oh man.
Wow, that's a brutal. I mean, that's a brutal score right there. IMDb sitting at a 5.9, Metacritic 25, Rotten Tomatoes critic score 11%. That's dismal. Audience score 77%. So there's your cult
Hell
following
yeah.
right there. Yeah, it's definitely built a following throughout the years. Letterboxd has this sitting at a 2.5 out of 5 stars. So overall, not very well received. But again, you look at the audience score on Rotten Tomatoes, and it does show that there is this collective audience for it, a cult following.
So there are people that have taste. Okay.
Yeah, sure. Okay, yeah. Well, so sequels and remakes or spin-offs. I guess again, because of the cult following behind this film, in April of 2009, the Hollywood Reporter they put out a story that there was a remake in the works for this with Russell Brand. There we go. Another reason why I would not watch this. Okay, I can't stand Russell Brand. He is
I
so
can't stand
unfunny.
anything about him either.
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
obnoxious and he looks like he smells.
He'd be a perfect drop dead Fred.
I heard also Jim Carrey was they were kind of eyeballing him, but this was like before he did Ace Ventura.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I think he would have been cool.
Yeah, I think it would have brought something interesting with a different script, maybe. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely a vehicle for somebody like Jim Carrey or, like we mentioned earlier, Robin Williams. Yeah. So, but yeah, Russell Brand. I mean, he did a remake of Arthur, which is one of my what can I say? It's just one of my perennial favorites. With Arthur with Dudley Moore. If you haven't seen this, it's such a beautifully funny movie that melts the heart. Love Arthur. Have you seen this, Liss?
I've seen the original. I won't watch anything with Russell Brand in it. I really
Yeah.
can't stand him. I don't know why there's certain actors that if they're in it, I can't watch it.
Yeah, and he did the remake, and it was just, I mean, for being such a sweet, innocent, fun film, the original, which dealt head on in a very honest way, it dealt with alcoholism and problems and so forth. But yeah, the remake was horrible. So Russell Brand, if he does, didn't he fall into some kind of controversy within the last few years or something? I don't know.
I don't follow him.
Yeah. So yeah, that's about it. I mean, there was never ever a remake that came about, and the Russell Brand thing, I'm sure, just fell through the cracks. So, but so let's go with our ratings. You know what, Liz, our special guest, you go first.
What are we?
Yeah, what are we rating it as?
Oh, I got so caught up. We're gonna go out of between 1 and 10 boogers.
10 boogers. 10 boogers all day. I love this movie so much. It's so fun, but it does delve into like all the mental health issues of a narcissistic mother and just overwhelming childhood. It's just it's so fun. It stresses you out, but it makes you happy and smile at the same time. It's just such a perfect movie.
All right. So you gave it 10 out of 10 boogers.
Yes, all the
All
boogers.
right. All the
Take my boogers. Take them.
All of 'em.
Take them all.
All right. Okay. Daisy.
So I'm gonna be the balance in the universe because I know where you're going. So I see where they were trying to go with this movie, and I figured it out, but I mean the fact that Fred was kind of like doing the opposite of helping her and making her look insane, and I found it amusing. It was fun, good nostalgia. So I'm gonna give it 6.5 boogers.
Okay. 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 Here we go. So look, I found
Don't be an Ebert here. Sorry, go ahead.
Okay. I found it unfunny. And to me, it just came across as insensitive to the real issues of mental health. And if you really want a great film about an imaginary friend, go see If. It stars Ryan Reynolds and John Krasinski. It's out in the theater now. That is a perfect example of an imaginary friend film. But so aside from that, my rating on this, 2.5 out of 10 boogers on the Filmjoe scale.
That's more boogers from Joe than I expected.
I know. I thought we were going to get 0 boogers.
Well, you know what? I see what it was trying to do. And, you have the Phoebe Cates factor in there. So I have to bump it up a little bit for that.
Well, thank you for your booger generosity.
I was and that was too generous.
Damn.
Yeah, I'm considering not going to. No, I give it 2.5. I mean,
you can't take your boogers back.
We got your boogers. You ain't getting it back, boy.
All right. You got my boogers. They're there for all time to be appreciated. So let's see on the Mac and Me metric. Liss, is it better or worse than Mac and Me?
So much better.
All right. And was it really that bad?
It wasn't bad at all. I love this movie.
It's like, dude, were you not listening? I gave it 10 boogers.
The only thing I didn't like was that I had to rent it on a service. But I had credit on Amazon, so that was fine. I just used my credit to rent it.
Nice.
Daisy, was it better Mac and Me, better or worse?
No. This one was better than Mac and Me.
And was it really that bad?
No, it wasn't really that bad.
Okay. All right. So for me,
bad.
On the Mac and Me metric, I'd have to say this was worse than Mac and Me. And
I feel like I don't even know you anymore.
It was worse than Mac and Me. I mean, there was parts in Mac and Me that I actually laughed. You know what? Let's go back to the wheelchair over the cliff sequence. That sold it for me.
Damn, man. That's the standard that we're using.
Yeah.
You didn't laugh one time in this? Not one part in the movie you laughed at.
I chuckled at the beginning when she's a little girl and her mom tells her something sweet or whatever, and the kid is like, "Oh, that's bullshit" or something. That was it. I chuckled, and that was a courtesy chuckle. Okay, that was a warm-up chuckle to say, "Okay, let's get into this. We can do this." So yeah, one half chuckle. So yeah, and was it really that bad? Oh yes. Again, this is my first viewing of the film, so I think it's as bad as they say, as I've heard. So yeah, sorry, I tried. I gave it a shot. I really did. And I'll never get that hour and a half back in my life again.
Yeah, those are pity boogers you gave it.
I gave it pity boogers. Oh boy. Well, okay, let's start winding this down. We really hope you enjoyed the show. Please help to support the podcast by giving us a nice 5-star rating. Hell, I'll take a 4, maybe even a 3. Give us something. Throw us a bone. And leave us a good review. Or another way you can help to support this, the podcast is simply follow us or subscribe to us on Amazon, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Deezer, Audible, Boomplay, or wherever you get your podcast fix. Also, check us out on TikTok. Check us out on Instagram. And we also have our YouTube channel. We have there all our current episodes on as well. All the links there in the show notes below. You can also contact us directly via email to thefilmjoepod@gmail.com. We'd love to hear your feedback, especially about Drop Dead Fred, how horrible it really was. But yeah, definitely all the links there in the show notes below. So definitely check them out. So Liz, we're going to give you the final word for the episode.
I just can't believe that you just tried to show off right there, listing all of your platforms. And Drop Dead Fred holds up 100%. It is so worth watching. It is the best.
All right. That was a bunch of words. Okay. All right. So listen, Liz, thank you so much for joining us. We had a blast.
This was so much fun.
Yeah, thank you for having me on.
Yeah, and you're always welcome on the show. So again, thanks so much. And join us next week. As usually we do our next episode, we were going to do a certain subject matter or a certain theme. But we're actually going to do a special episode next week, and we're going to do Spotlight on Donald Sutherland and his amazing career and films. So join us for that episode. It'll be very special and a lot of fun.
Yes, yes, definitely.
Definitely. All right. So with that being said, I'm Joe.
I'm Daisy.
I'm Liss.
Uh,
And this is the Film Joe podcast,
where film talk happens.